My fiancé cheated with my brother days before our wedding. So I gave them a wedding gift they'll never forget. Throwaway account because I can't risk anyone finding out before I make my move. I'm writing this from my hotel room in Italy. The room that was supposed to be ours, mine and Emily's. I should be asleep by now, resting for the biggest day of my life. But how the hell can I sleep when my entire world just imploded? The wedding is in 2 days. 2 days before I stand in front of hundreds of people and vow to love and cherish a woman who has been sleeping with my brother behind my back. 2 days before I let them walk all over me, take everything I've built and leave me with nothing but humiliation. I keep replaying everything in my head. The moment I found out, the way my hands shook, the way my heart felt like it had been ripped out of my chest, the way I nearly threw up when I saw it with my own eyes, and yet, I've never felt so clear-headed in my entire life. Because if they think they've won, if they think I'm just gonna walk away quietly, they have no idea what's coming. Emily was my dream woman. She was the kind of woman who could make you feel like the most important man in the world just by looking at you. For 2 years, I believed she was mine, that we were partners, that she loved me as much as I loved her. I had built something for us. A future, a life. I had spent months planning this wedding, making sure every little detail was perfect because I wanted to give her everything. But the truth? She never wanted me. She wanted what I had. And my own brother, Jake, was more than happy to help her take it. It started with a text. I was at the bar with my groomsmen, whiskey in hand, laughing, celebrating. Emily had gone up to the suite, saying she was tired. I kissed her goodnight, told her I'd be up soon. Like a fucking idiot. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Your bride-to-be isn't where you think she is. Take a walk to the private villa, left of the pool. At first I laughed. I even showed my best friend, making a joke about wedding jitters and prank texts. But something nagged at me, a gut feeling, an itch at the back of my mind that wouldn't go away. So I went. Alone. The private villa was for VIP guests, secluded, dimly lit, tucked away from the main hotel. As I got closer I heard voices, muffled laughter, a man's voice, a woman's whisper. My heart started pounding. I stepped into the shadows just as the French doors to the patio slid open, and there they were, Emily, my fiancée, wearing nothing but a silk robe, standing on the balcony with my brother. His hand was on her waist. She was leaning into him, her fingers tracing his jaw, her lips inches from his. I felt the world tilt. I don't remember breathing. I don't even remember thinking. All I remember is the rush of rage and nausea hitting me all at once as I pulled out my phone and snapped a photo. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped it. Then Jake spoke. He really thinks you love him, huh? Emily giggled. She fucking giggled. Oh baby, he has no clue. I don't know how long I stood there. 5 seconds? A minute? An hour? I should have stormed in. I should have punched Jake in the face, called Emily every name under the sun, thrown my ring at her feet. But I didn't. I turned and walked away, my vision blurring with rage. I don't even remember how I got back to my room. I just remember staring at the wall, my pulse hammering in my ears, my hands clenched so tightly that my nails dug into my skin. I felt like I was going to be sick. Then, like a man possessed, I grabbed my laptop. If this was real, if I wasn't imagining it, I needed proof. I started digging. I called the hotel front desk and pretended to be Jake, saying I'd lost my key card and needed a record of my recent room visits. The concierge, not suspecting a thing, sent me an email with his check-in log. He'd been going to Emily's suite almost every night. Then I remembered something. Emily had left her iPad in my bag earlier that day. It was linked to her iCloud. My hands were shaking as I turned it on. The first thing that popped up? A string of texts between her and Jake. Emily, he's so fucking boring. Always talking about work, always planning for the future. I can't wait for this wedding to be over. Jake, just hold on 2 more days. Once you're his wife, we start moving the money, Emily, and then we get rid of him. My vision blurred with fury. My ears started ringing. This wasn't just an affair. They were planning to steal from me. For the first few hours I felt nothing. I just sat there, rereading the messages, looking at the photo of them together, feeling my entire life disintegrate in front of me. Then, slowly something else started to creep in. Not sadness, not heartbreak. Clarity. I could have confronted them. I could have ended it right then and there. But that wouldn't be enough. They weren't just cheating. They were plotting against me. They wanted to humiliate me. They wanted to take what was mine. Then I would give them a wedding they would never forget. In 2 days, I am going to stand at that altar, put on the biggest smile of my life, and let Emily believe she's won. And then, I am going to destroy them both. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. The way she leaned into him, the way he held her, the way they laughed at me like I was nothing. I had spent 2 years loving this woman, planning a future with her. And she had spent God knows how long stabbing me in the back. But the worst part, the part that made my stomach churn every time I thought about it, this wasn't just an affair. They weren't just sneaking around behind my back. They were planning to ruin me, to take what was mine, to destroy everything I had built. And that's when I knew I wasn't going to walk away quietly. I was going to burn their entire world to the ground. The next morning, I forced myself to act normal. It was the hardest thing I had ever done. Emily woke up with a sleepy smile, stretching in our bed, completely unaware that I had spent the entire night uncovering her betrayal. "You were out late," she murmured, still half asleep. "Excited for the big day?" I almost laughed. Excited? I wanted to grab her by the shoulders, shake her, scream in her face. How long? How long have you been lying to me? Was anything real? Was I just a stepping stone for you? But I didn't. I just smiled. "Yeah, just had a few drinks with the guys." She hummed, rolled over, and went back to sleep. Like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't just destroyed my entire life. I spent the morning preparing, not for the wedding, but for their downfall. First, I forwarded all of their texts to my personal email. Then, I printed multiple copies and placed them in different locations: my luggage, my best man's room, even in a security deposit box at the hotel. I wasn't taking any chances. Then, I made some calls. Call number 1. My lawyer. I told him to prepare an updated prenuptial agreement, one that would leave Emily with absolutely nothing. He was confused. Didn't she already sign one? She did, but I wanted a new one that she'd have to sign again in front of witnesses. Call number 2. The wedding planner. I requested a last-minute video presentation during the reception. I played it off as a surprise video to thank our families. In reality, it was going to be the ultimate betrayal reveal. Call number 3. A private investigator. I needed proof beyond texts. If there were any hotel security cameras that caught them together, if Jake had any other affairs, I wanted it all. Then I went to see Jake. Jake was in his suite, casually sipping coffee like he wasn't the biggest piece of shit on the planet. "Yo, little bro, you ready to lock yourself down for life?" He smirked. I wanted to break his fucking jaw, but I didn't. Instead, I played along. "Yeah, man, can't wait." He grinned, clapping me on the back. "That's the spirit. Just don't freak out and run. Cold feet are normal." Cold feet? I wasn't the one sneaking around like a goddamn snake. "By the way," I said, keeping my tone light, "I had a few too many drinks last night. Might need you to help keep an eye on Emily at the reception." Jake's expression didn't change, but I saw it. The slight twitch of his jaw, the flicker of something in his eyes. "Of course, bro. You can count on me." I bet. There was one last thing I needed to do. I needed to make sure Emily signed the new prenup. I waited until she was relaxed, curled up on the couch, scrolling through Instagram, probably texting Jake under my nose. Then I sat beside her, kissed her cheek, and pulled out the documents. "Hey babe, the lawyers wanted us to sign an updated prenup. Just a formality, nothing major." She blinked. "We already signed one." "I know, but they said there were some minor errors. Just need to get it done before the wedding." She hesitated, and for the first time I saw it, the briefest flicker of guilt. She knew. She fucking knew she didn't deserve to be marrying me. But then, just as quickly as it came, she shrugged and took the pen. "Yeah, sure." She signed her name. Just like that. She had no idea she had just signed away everything. I'm writing this knowing that in 24 hours, everything will come crashing down. Jake and Emily think they've won. They think I'm blind, clueless, a fool they can manipulate. They have no idea what's coming. Tomorrow, I'm going to walk down that aisle. I'm going to say my vows. I'm going to kiss my bride. And then, I'm going to rip their entire world apart in front of everyone. It's done. The wedding happened. The guests showed up. The vows were spoken. The rings were exchanged. And then I burned it all to the ground. I've never felt more alive. more powerful, more in control. Emily and Jake thought they were playing me. They thought I was the fool in this story. They were wrong. This is how I ruined them both. The villa was breathtaking that morning. The sky was a perfect shade of blue, the sea glistening in the sunlight. Everything looked picture perfect, except for the fact that I was about to marry a woman who had been sleeping with my brother behind my back. Standing at the altar, waiting for Emily to walk down the aisle, I felt nothing. No love, no excitement, just cold, calculated rage. Jake was my best man. I wanted to laugh at the irony. The bastard standing beside me, pretending to be my biggest supporter, had spent the last few months sneaking into my fiancée's bed. He had no idea that in less than an hour, his entire world would crumble. The music started. The guests stood. Emily appeared at the end of the aisle, looking radiant in her designer wedding dress. She smiled at me like she hadn't been whispering sweet lies into my brother's ear just the night before. I smiled back. Let her have this moment. Let her believe she won. She walked toward me, took my hands, and we stood before the officiant. I could feel Jake watching us. Maybe he was feeling smug. Maybe he was thinking about all the ways he had outplayed me. He was in for a rude awakening. Emily went first. Her voice was soft, emotional, full of lies. I promise to love you, to stand by you, to be your partner in life and in everything we do. I almost burst out laughing. Instead, I squeezed her hands and nodded, pretending to be touched. Then it was my turn. I took a deep breath, looked her in the eye, and said, "Emily, you are the love of my life." She smiled. Or at least that's what I thought. Her smile faltered. A few guests chuckled, thinking I was making a joke. I kept going. When I met you, I thought I had found the person I wanted to spend forever with, someone I could trust, someone who loved me as much as I loved her. Emily's hands tensed in mine. I could feel her heartbeat quicken. But 2 nights ago I learned the truth. The air shifted. I learned that love means nothing when there's betrayal, that trust can be shattered in an instant, that the woman standing in front of me, I squeezed her hands, my smile never fading, has been sleeping with my brother behind my back. The silence that followed was deafening. Emily's face went pale. Jake, standing just a few feet away, froze. The guests, gasps, murmurs. Someone dropped their champagne glass. I let go of Emily's hands and turned to the crowd. Time for the grand finale. I gestured toward the wedding planner. Showtime. The giant screen behind us lit up. At first, the guests saw a montage of sweet romantic moments, Emily and me during our engagement, laughing, holding hands. Then it cut. A new clip appeared, security footage from the hotel. Emily, Jake, together. The footage showed them sneaking into Jake's suite, their secret kisses. The way she looked at him, the way she used to look at me. Gasps, shouts. Someone screamed, "Oh my God." Emily turned to me, horrified. "Please, save it." Then I turned to Jake. "And you, my own brother." He had gone ghost white. His mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. "I bet you thought you were so fucking smart that I'd never find out." I stepped closer. But I did. Then I decked him. I had been waiting for this moment for 2 days. My fist connected with his jaw, sending him sprawling to the ground. Someone gasped. My mother screamed. But I didn't care. I leaned over him, lowering my voice so only he could hear. "You're done." Emily tried to grab my arm. "Please, we can talk about this." I yanked my arm away like touching her would make me sick. "Talk about what, Emily? How you were planning to steal from me. How you laughed about how easy I was to manipulate." I pulled out my phone and read her own texts aloud to the crowd. "He's so fucking boring. I can't wait for this wedding to be over. Just hold on 2 more days. Once you're his wife, we start moving the money." Emily collapsed onto the floor. I turned to my lawyer, who was standing among the guests. "I assume the updated prenup is in effect?" He nodded. I smirked. "Then Emily, congratulations, you just signed away everything." Her eyes widened in horror. "What? That new prenup? The one you signed so easily? It ensures you leave this marriage with absolutely nothing, not a cent, not a single asset." Jake, still clutching his jaw, snapped. "You set us up, you psycho." "No, Jake, you set yourself up. I just made sure you got exactly what you deserved." I turned to the crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the interruption. There will be no wedding today." The guests, some shocked, some thrilled by the drama, began murmuring. I looked back at Emily one last time. "Oh, and the honeymoon? Enjoy it. It's non-refundable, and guess what? It's already booked under your name and Jake's. Then I walked out, no looking back, no regrets. And as I stepped outside into the bright Italian sun, I felt something I hadn't felt in days. Freedom. It's been 1 week since the wedding, that wasn't. 1 week since I blew up my fiancée's world in front of 200 guests. 1 week since I knocked my now disowned brother on his ass. 1 week since I walked away from everything. And let me tell you, I have never felt more alive. But oh, you want to know what happened to the traitors, don't you? Well, sit back. It's better than I ever could have planned. After I left the wedding, Emily was a complete mess. How do I know? Because my phone has been blowing up non-stop. Calls, texts, voicemails, all from her. I haven't answered a single one. Here's what I do know from my sources, aka my best man, who stuck around for the chaos. Emily tried to chase after me, but security stopped her. That's right, I hired security just in case she tried something desperate. Her parents disowned her. They're a wealthy, old-money family, and they care a lot about reputation. Getting publicly exposed as a gold-digging cheater at a high-profile wedding? Not a good look. She had no money, nowhere to go. Remember that prenup she blindly signed? Yeah, that means she's leaving this with exactly $0.00. No luxury apartment, no access to my accounts, nothing. She tried staying at the hotel, but guess what? The entire stay was booked under my name. And I canceled it. So where did she go? To Jake. And that's where things get even better. Jake's always been the golden boy, the favorite son, the one who could do no wrong in my parents' eyes. Not anymore. After the wedding, my parents were livid. Not just because he betrayed me, but because he embarrassed the entire family name. That night, my father called a family meeting. I wasn't there, obviously, but my cousin gave me the full play-by-play. Jake tried to deny everything, said it was blown out of proportion. Bro, there was video evidence. Sit down. My father told him to pack his bags, literally. He's cut off completely. No more cushy job at the family firm, no more trust fund, no more luxury penthouse. Mom was in tears. She always babied him, but even she couldn't defend this. So where did he go? To Emily. Two snakes, forced to be together. And that's where things get hilarious. Emily and Jake lasted exactly 5 days. I know this because Jake, that absolute dumbass, had the nerve to call me. I didn't pick up, but he left a voicemail, and oh my god, you ruined my fucking life, man. Oh buddy, did I? Emily's driving me insane. She won't stop crying. She keeps blaming me for everything. We can't even go outside because people recognize us from the video. That's right. The video went viral. Someone from the wedding must have leaked it, because now, everyone knows. Jake wasn't the big shot heir anymore. He was just a loser who lost everything for a woman who never loved him. And then came the best part. She left, man. She fucking left. That's right, Emily dumped Jake. She had no money, no future, and now no one to leech off of. And where did she go next? To her ex. Oh yeah. Turns out, Emily had been in contact with an ex this whole time. Some rich older guy she used to date before me. He wasn't thrilled about the cheating scandal, but guess what? He still took her in. Because she's that good at playing the game, or at least she used to be. I spent the first few days after the wedding in Rome, just soaking in my freedom, eating amazing food, drinking wine, not dealing with a lying fiancé and a snake of a brother, and then I went home, back to New York, and I got to work. I finalized the prenup. Even though there was no wedding, Emily still signed a legal document waiving any financial claims. She can't come after me for shit. I cleaned house at the company. Jake had a few loyalists at our firm. Guess what? Not anymore. Anyone remotely connected to him is gone. I started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but let's just say I am having a great time. And as for Jake and Emily, Jake is broke, jobless, and disgraced. Emily is hopping from one rich guy to the next, trying to survive. Do I feel bad? Not even a little. Looking back, I can't believe how close I came to ruining my life. If that anonymous text hadn't tipped me off, if I had married Emily, signed over assets, let Jake manipulate me, I'd be the one who lost everything. Instead, I walked away with my dignity, my career, and my future fully intact. And them? They're just cautionary tales. So if you're reading this and you've got a gut feeling that something is off, trust it, because the best revenge is simply walking away while they burn.